Good afternoon, everybody. I was asked a question about whether you can make a key fob all on the Brother 670E or whether you need the software. Well, there is a way to do it. You can use any image that you have if you import it via the USB in either of these. They plug in the side here. Or you can use one of the ones on the actual machine. I'm going to use one on the actual machine just so you can follow me step by step if that's what you want to do to try this out. So I'm going to select a pattern. I'm going to click on the bird one, and let's just select the eagle and click on set. So that's the eagle selected. Now you can see it's currently 95 millimeters wide, and that equates to about 4 inches, I think. 68 certainly is 3.5 inches, something like that. It's a bit big. So what I'm going to do is up here you've got the size button. I'm going to click on size, and this first button here you can see all of the arrows point inwards. So I'm just literally going to press on it until it won't go any further, and it's reduced it to 61 centimeters. So it's a bit smaller. So that's as small as we're going to get it. I'm going to click on OK. I'm just going to move it out of the way for the moment, and then I'm going to come down here, and we need to make something to make the tab to attach it to a keyring. So if we click on Add, I'm going to click on the text button, and I'm going to select this first one, which is number 01, simply because it's the plainest of them texts, and that's what we need. Making sure it's on the capital I, the capital letters, I'm going to click on I, make sure it's on large, and then click on set. Now that's come in quite small. It's only 28 millimeters high, or 2.8 centimeters. It's really very small. So if I click on size again, the middle button here is the increase the height, and that's what we want to do. I'm going to increase the height until it won't go any further, and it's still only 4.3 centimeters, which is again quite small for a key fob. So I'm going to say OK, and then I'm going to click on this little button here, which is the duplicate button. So if I click on it, you can see we've now got two. If I use my other hand to reach around here, it'll make it easier. I'm going to center it, and then I'm going to move this one up just by clicking here. You can see I've gone too far now. If I zoom in a bit, you see there's a gap there. So again, I'm just going to move it down. Now, how tall this is depends on how long you'd like your tab to be, to put your snap tab or your rivet on. I'm going to leave it at that size. I'm going to reduce the size a bit, and then I'm going to bring the eagle in, and I'm going to put it right over the top there. I can just center it, which is a bit too high, and then bring it down, but I don't like it there, so I'm going to move it so it's more or less over the top. Having said that, we want to make sure we select everything that's now on the screen. So if you come down here and click on this button here, you'll see here I've got it set to multiple selection. And if we want to add another pattern, we can say yes. So let's just make sure we click on that, and what might be visible to you is there's a red box that goes all the way around here and all the way around. So the whole thing is selected. And if I click on OK, it's all selected. We now need to treat it as a group. So here, this button here with the red square on it is the group button. If you click on that, you'll find that the red box, which hopefully you can see, now goes all the way around all of the images. Don't worry about that this is in front of the eagle. It really won't matter. We're going to get rid of it. It's just to help us with the next step. So having got this far, along here on this third line, you've got a shield. If you click on it, you'll find you've got a variety of adds that you can do. We want to have one that follows the shape, and I want it to follow the shape quite closely. So here, this sets the distance for your applique. And if you click on the minus button, you can take it down very tightly to 1.5. You can actually go lower if you want to, but obviously the distance is up to you. What I'd suggest very strongly is you play around with the distance and see. If you don't like what you see, we just cancel it and do it again. So if I just say fine, I'm going to go with that. You can see it's now created a frame. Now if you don't like it, all you do is come over here, press on cancel, increase the distance, this is now at 2, say set again, and let's say we're happy with that one, so let's go OK. So that's fine, but what we don't need in here is the center letters that we use to create the tab. So let's ungroup it. Now it's ungrouped and you can see you've got a red square here and a red square here. We want to get rid of the 2 letters here and here. So again, if we click on the select button, and again, sometimes you need to zoom in to see what's selected. If I move that, oops, always go the wrong way, and click on select, you can see that possibly just about there's a red box there. And if we go down and click on delete, I'm going to say yes, that's one gone. Press that one is selecting the eagle, so we don't want that. This one now, the red box has appeared around the second eye. So if we say right, we're going to delete that and OK. And I'll zoom back out again, maybe a little bit back. Now there you have an eagle which will stitch out, and then the final bit is to stitch out the applique part, or what can become a snap tab. Just to show you how that shows up in your software, let's click on End Edit, and then we're going to go to the embroidery screen. Now this eagle has a total of 9 colours, but if we go down, the last 3 are the ones I want you to pay attention to. This first one is a tack down stitch, and then there's a pair of scissors. You'll notice it's automatically set to a halt at that point. So once it's done that stitch, it will stop. This is to allow you to trim around the image so that you get a nice tight image. And if you're going to put a back on, you want to do that as well. The next one is a tack down stitch. And again, there's a stop in case you wanted to check the back and trim the back. And then the final one is a satin stitch. Now what I haven't been able to find out is whether or not you can change that stitch somewhere to just perhaps a running stitch, but this will, as you can see, give you a satin stitch. If we return out of this screen for a moment and say, if you're curious to see how this will stitch out before actually doing it, one way you can do this is to come out of the embroidery screen, so click on return and say OK, and then come up to the top of the screen and click on this hoop icon. Down here, and let's zoom in a bit, you can click on this icon here, which is a triangle pointing towards a needle, and if you click on that and just say fine, let's run, what it will do is it will run through what it's going to stitch. It'll do all of the eagle first, which obviously will take a little while because there's a lot of detail in it. Finishing with the outline. And then it does an outline stitch, a tack down stitch, and then it does the satin stitch. So that's exactly what it will do when you put it on your machine. It's one way to get around not having software. I hope that's helpful.